Pepper? Peps? Pep? Right, okay then. Be gone. So we've established my dog doesn't love me. Very sad indeed. Yeah, so I'm back with another video. Hold on a minute, let me even out. Today, actually let me close my window because I don't want anyone, my neighbours, hearing the tea. So I'm back with another video, and today I decided to do a video talking about my experiences at uni. Basically, I did 1 year, kind of started the second year, then left after like a month, and I've been back home this year, but I am planning to go back to uni, but a different uni that is closer to my home. That might have sounded complicated, but that's what's happening with me. So I haven't been at uni this year, but I am planning to go back. But I thought that I would talk about what I experienced in my first year at university. Overall, it's quite interesting, and you know, who doesn't love a bit of tea? So basically, here we go. Hopefully this video might be interesting to you guys, and you know, you might pick up some sort of insights of if you're all planning to go to uni, or if you've been at uni and had similar experiences, then great, glad I could help. But anyway, let's get into it. I basically was 19, just turned 19 when I went to university, because I had done 3 years at college, because I had to repeat my GCSEs, some of my GCSEs, because first time around I didn't get enough. But as if you've watched my video talking about my bullying and depression and mental illness sort of journey, I was homeschooled during my last year of GCSE, so therefore I didn't really do very well in them. So at my sixth form college, I was able to repeat them, well, you know, like do a few more in order so I could start my A-levels. So I spent 3 years there at my college. So I had just turned 19 when I got my A-level results, and I went to uni, and I went to Liverpool Hope Uni. I was really excited to go because I'd been living, you know, in my city. You know, I was just getting fed up of where I'd been, you know, living for most of my life, and I wanted a change, and I just wanted like more new friends and all of that, and just to experience life in a different, bigger city compared to the one that I had been living in most of my life. So I was really excited, especially as oh, by the way, yeah, the degree that I was doing was media and communication, because I'd done media for A-level, so I found it quite an interesting subject, so I decided to do that at uni as well, and that is still what I'm going to continue doing when I go back. I was really excited to go to uni, especially as before going to, like, moving up to Liverpool, I'd managed to get added to like a group chat. Mum?
Yeah?
I'm just making a video, okay?
Okay, I've got to put the vacuum on then.
Up here. Right, okay. Sorry, I had to stop recording because my mum came up and decided that it was a good time to come and vacuum the landing, even though I said I was doing a video. So that's my family for you, very considerate indeed. What was I saying? What was I saying? So before I started and moved up to uni, I was able to join a group chat with people who were living in like the same halls as me, so I could get to know the people who were in the building that I was living in, because it wasn't like, I know some uni halls can be massive, but the hall that I was staying in was relatively small. I think there was about maybe 40 or 50 of us in the whole building together. There was like ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor, but there wasn't really many people. I think on each floor there was maybe about 12 people, but it was split into two sides, so whichever side you were living on, there was maybe 5 other people living on the same side as you. So anyway, I got added to a group chat so I could get talking to other people who were living in the halls, and I actually found that really helpful, and it was a good thing to have, because I knew that by sort of talking to the people and getting to know the people before uni, I'd feel kind of less scared about going there, and because it can be nerve-wracking starting uni and, you know, not knowing who you're going to be with, and, you know, getting to know people for the first time. That can be nerve-wracking, but I think there is quite a lot of ways that now you can get to know the people you're living with in your halls or your course before you go. So if anyone's, you know, planning to start uni or whatever, try and find something like that so that you can get to talk to people that are going to be living with you or studying with you before you go to uni, because I think that can help you with feeling less scared about going there if you've kind of built up a bit of a friendship and got to know some people before you go. It was a good thing to do, because yeah, there were like some people who I knew definitely clicked with and knew that I was going to get on pretty well with when I was there. But also a bit of a downside to it is, you know, people, you know, there was a few times in the chat where people, you know, there was maybe a bit of an argument or a fallout, you know, someone said something and then a whole kind of debate came about, you know, someone didn't like what they said and then there was an argument and all of that. So that's not exactly good to have before you've started uni, and that did happen a couple of times, and it made, you know, people would leave the chat, and so that was a bit awkward, but luckily it didn't happen too much in this chat that I was in. Moving on to actually moving up to Liverpool to go into my halls, and the halls that I lived in were okay, but they could have been better, because you know, it wasn't a very modern building, and I went for halls where you shared sort of like the bathrooms and the showers, and every uni pretty much shares the kitchen, unless you really, you know, want to be spending a lot of money on having a studio flat. You will be in a lot of debt for that if you do that. Even though it was okay, because we had cleaners come in every day to clean those bathrooms and the kitchen, I definitely think it is better to have an ensuite room, because it's just kind of a bit more privacy, you know, especially if you've been on nights out and you need to throw up loads. Going out of your room to go to the bathroom, come back, go back to throw up again, it's not great, especially if there's a couple of you who have to do that. So, but anyway, my room was okay. Oh god, apart from the bed, Jesus Christ, the bed was just, it must have been there about 40 years, because it was just, oh my god, it was so bad. Anyway, I survived. I'm still here. All in all, I was very excited to be there. On the day moving, I managed to talk to a few people that I had spoken to in the chat. I was really excited for freshers, when I started uni, I hadn't really been sort of out on nights out a lot, even though I was 19 and did go out a little bit when I was 18. But again, where I'm from is quite a small city, so there's not really the greatest nightlife. So going up to Liverpool, I thought it's just gonna be great. It's gonna just be so much better, which it was. Like, nightlife in Liverpool is pretty good. Like, on the first night, we, like most people who had been in the group chat, we all kind of managed to get together and freeze and, you know, we're able to sort of talk to each other a bit more and get to know each other on like our first night and everything. The first place we went to was Pop World in Liverpool, which it's quite a cheesy club and slightly noncy, because I think because they play slightly older songs, or slightly older people go. I was there and I was just like, why are there so many old people here? Like, why are there so many like 50-year-old men staring at me? But all in all, they did play, you know, the bangers from like the 90s and, you know, noughties and, you know, all the songs that I grew up with when I was a kid. So that was fun. Freshers was pretty good. I did have an incident with some guy who was just, you know, should I talk about that? No, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that. And now that I've said that, I know everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, like, spill the tea. But it's not really much tea, apart from, you know, we liked each other, but he kind of wanted to do things, and then I thought no, because even though I liked him, I didn't want to get that reputation of, you know, sleeping with someone in like the first few days of being there, plus with someone who was staying in the same halls as me, which would have been very awkward for the rest of the whole time. It was awkward anyway, because when I sort of said no and everything, he got pissed off, and throughout the year everyone was just realising that he was a bit of a twat. So at least it wasn't me. That's also, you know, word of advice, if you're doing uni, going uni or whatever, try not to do that kind of stuff within the first week, because you might get a bit of a reputation. And I know that, you know, people at uni can go a bit, you know, maybe start living that whole life a bit, which can be okay, but I would just try and lay off it in the first few weeks and just kind of spend that few weeks just get it, like, making friends and, you know, settling in and making yourself comfortable. After freshers, the course started, and I did enjoy my course. It was quite fun. I had a few issues, but, you know, uni can be quite, the work can be pretty demanding and can seem a lot, but you will get used to it and just try not to stress about it. It just, you know, as long as, because everyone's in the same boat, you're gonna have, you know, a group of people where you can be like, bitch, I'm so done with this work, and they'll be like, oh, my day's same. So that at least doesn't make you feel alone, so you can talk to people about your course. So don't stress out about the load of work, it's fine. Plus, first year doesn't count. But I'm not saying that you should just not put any effort into your work. You should, but it doesn't count towards your main grade. I don't know why, but you just need to do good enough to pass on to the next year. But I would try your hardest. Aim to succeed and be a star. Okay? I'm proud of you. One thing I sort of noticed, because obviously with being in the group chats and everything before uni, I thought that like all of us were going to be the best of mates and everything, and that's not really the case, because yeah, there was about 50 of us in these halls, and yeah, for the first week of freshers we were all pretty close, and then as the weeks kind of went on, everyone kind of divided and kind of made their own little group of friends, which is totally okay, and that is what's going to happen. So again, if you're going to uni, don't expect to be friends with everyone and expect kind of friendship groups to change. Like, you could be great mates with someone for a few weeks and then it could kind of die down. Don't be too hard on yourself to try and get on with everyone, because at the end of the day it will just take time to sort of build up the friendships which are more important and, you know, more your kind of people. You'll find the kind of people that you get on with the most and all of that, which is absolutely fine. So don't feel too bad about that. My life changed quite a lot with uni, and the thing is, because I was going out quite a lot, I was pretty much going out like twice a week, which right now when I think about it, I'm like, ew. I just think about the amount of alcohol I drank, and honestly, I thought that was going to improve my alcohol tolerance, so that meant that I could, you know, the more I drink, the more I get used to it, the more I can go out. But that really wasn't the case, because I, you know, yeah, started uni about end of September. By about January, I was starting to develop the worst hangovers every time I went out, and it's just, oh, disgusting, because I don't know what it was, but for the first few months I was just able to drink loads and just wake up feeling absolutely fine and have like no hangover whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, January, boom, they were just like, God was just waiting to hit me with the truth. So by about January, I didn't really go as hard as I was at clubbing. I'd still try and go out once a week with people, but I was trying to limit the amount that I drank. But yeah, that's easier said than done. Like at the start of the night, you're like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna drink much, and then you end up, you know. Yeah, I can remember one night we had this, it was sort of middle of October, so I think a few weeks into uni, we started there was kind of like a formal dinner for people, again, to sort of settle us in, get to know your people. So we had a nice formal dinner, and yeah, that night was really one to remember, because the only alcohol you could drink at the dinner was wine, and I'd never really been a fan of wine, but because I wanted alcohol, I thought, okay, I'll have a glass or something, it might not be too bad. So I ended up having 3, and then we all wanted to go out afterwards, so then I started drinking my drinks that I would pre with before we went out. So I'd had wine, and then I started drinking my normal kind of Malibu and Coke, probably vodka. So I was absolutely before we went out. I could like barely stand before we even went out, so people were like, no, oh my god, she's gonna like die, she's not gonna be let in and everything. And I was just like, look, no, it's okay, I'm good, like I can stand, it's fine. But then in the morning I literally thought I'd been spiked, because I was like shaking, and I literally thought, this is the day I die. Turns out I was just dehydrated, and I was just being a dramatic little bitch. And after eating some pomegranate and drinking some water, I was fine. but I literally felt like I had a demon inside me. But anyway, now I'm going to talk a bit more about romance at uni. Before I jump into this, I'm going to say for the first year of uni, I would avoid getting into a relationship with someone. I think the first year is better to focus on friendships and settling into a new place and all of that and being more independent. I was stupid enough to get a boyfriend and get into a relationship in my first year of uni, which I do not recommend and I highly regret. If he's watching this, he might be, he might not, but I wasn't entirely expecting to get into a relationship. I had that mindset, yeah, maybe it's better for me to spend this first year just being single, because I've been, when I started uni, I'd been single quite a decent amount of time. I'd been single 9 months or so. I'd never really been in a proper relationship anyway. So I downloaded Tinder, and I think I mainly downloaded it just to, I don't know, I think it was just because I was bored and just wanted to talk to people. But like one night I was just with some mates chilling, and they were like, okay, let's go through your Tinder and, you know, try and find you a boyfriend. And I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. They came across this guy who was from a different uni in Liverpool, and I was just like, okay, yeah, swipe on him and see what happens. And there'd already been like an instant match, so I was a bit like, okay. But I was like, you know what, I'm probably not going to talk to him like I did with a lot of the matches I got. But he messaged me about an hour later to see where this goes, and yeah, long story short, we met up a few days later, and yeah, we were sort of seeing each other for a few weeks, and I just thought, nah, this isn't really gonna escalate. I wasn't expecting it to escalate into anything. Yeah, again, I just had that mindset, yeah, I'm not really looking for a boyfriend or anything. Literally maybe about a month after seeing each other, he wanted me to be his girlfriend. So that did take me by surprise, but I don't know. Then I just thought, fuck it, let's just see how it goes. So that was a big mistake. So yeah, that relationship basically lasted about 5 months, and that is the longest that I had been in a relationship before, in fairness. But yeah, wasn't great, because we broke up literally the week before I was meant to be doing my exams in May. So I already had a lot on my plate, I was already stressing, and then that happened, and I thought, I am going to fail my exams now. But I didn't. So, in your face. I passed my exams. I did a lot better than I thought I would, because I was doing 2 different exams. One was the media half of my course, and then the other part was my film part of my course. So the film part was like, it was much easier, because you could kind of use your own opinions. You didn't really need to learn many facts, because basically all we did was like watch films, talk about certain topics about it. We did learn some theories, and some were a bit confusing, but you can kind of get more points for just kind of using your own opinion, which was good. I remember looking at the media paper though and thinking, what the fuck? I basically chatted shit in that paper, so I'm very surprised that I actually passed it. But I guess you just kind of need to think. It's better to write things, write as much as you can, even if you're not 100% sure whether it's the correct thing, and not write anything at all, because you might write that stuff, not think it's valuable, but it could be. So you got to look at it that way. Another thing I'm going to talk about is, which again was basically what made me leave in the second year was student housing, which I think is literally the worst thing you can do for your second year. I don't recommend that you do it. Some people get on okay with it, but for me it went very badly and made me leave with, you know, the whole situation. So if you can, with whatever uni you're going to, if there is the option to live in halls for the next year or the year after, then just do that. Just do that. I know some unis don't have that option and your only option is to do student housing, but if you can live in halls, I would say do that, because it is a safer bet, because a lot of shit can happen with student housing. That's just my own opinion. Like I said, some people can get on absolutely fine, but with me it just didn't, because I feel the whole process is very rushed, because you literally need to they make you need to sort it out by literally December or January, and you're literally making the decision to live with some people who you're barely known for the next year or two. And even if you get on with those people okay, even if you've been getting on okay with those people for the past 2-3 months, you don't really know whether you're going to be getting on with them and still okay with them, or, you know, whether someone might have quit or anything like that by the time you're starting your second year. So I basically made the decision to live with 3 other girls in that I'd got to know in my hall. I got on okay with them in the first year, but then in the second year, I'm trying not to spill too much tea because there is a lot of tea, but I feel it is something that shouldn't really be exposed on social media. Maybe a different time I'll spill the tea, but not today. Because there is sort of feeling homesick and, you know, struggling with being away. Personally, I didn't feel very homesick because I was very happy to move away and start a new life in Liverpool. So I did miss my family quite a lot. I did miss them, but I was happy to kind of be where I was, so I didn't really feel much of a need to kind of go back or anything. But I know a lot of people can feel homesick and struggle with that. I don't know, if you feel like you might be homesick, it's probably best to go to a uni which is closer to you, like not too far. So like, okay, maybe you can live independently, but I don't know, if you are feeling homesick you can easily get back. So I don't know, if you've got a uni that's maybe 30 minutes away from you, or even like an hour away from you, so not that far. If you feel you might get homesick and you don't want to get homesick, maybe try something like that. I'm resting my legs because I've been crossing them for about 40 minutes. I've kind of mentioned a few things that I would recommend to people who are going to university, such as finding out if there's, you know, a group chat you can join before you start, so you can get to know people. And then also, just when you're there, just literally try and talk to as many people as you can. Most people are very sociable and everyone's in the same boat, so trying to make friends. So I think you can pretty much talk to anyone, and, you know, most people will be nice. But yeah, if there's any kind of societies or clubs, also try that. Don't get a boyfriend or girlfriend. If you're already in a relationship before you go to uni, then obviously cool, keep that. Don't become too much of a hoe. I do know people can end up like that, but you need to gotta stay safe. There's so many things that can kind of go wrong with that, like, you know, your reputation, your safety, because if you're hooking up with people who you don't really know, anything could happen. They could be a psycho killer. So there's safety in that respect. Also, you don't want to be catching anything. Don't stress about the workload. Literally, you just need to keep a positive mindset of everything, because if you just think negatively, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to make the situation any better. Positivity can build more success. So if you're thinking positively, you have more chances of sorting things out than negatively, because if you're thinking negatively, nothing's going to get sorted out. So that can apply to everything with uni, you know, your work. Obviously, if you're struggling with work, you know, you can talk to your lecturers, talk to your mates on your course. You know, at uni, they are there to help you. They want you to do well, and they don't want you stressing. So, you know, feel free to go and get help for that. Also, if you're struggling mentally, most unis, I suspect, have a counselling system. Have a counselling system, so feel free to reach out to them. And this is just my opinion. Student housing can go to shit, because if you agree to live with people and then you don't get on with them around the time that you're meant to be moving in, that can be, it can just go to shit. I can find no other way to describe it than it can go to shit. So I would stick to staying in halls, because the consequences of leaving a student house is not nice, because you've still got to pay, which is what I've had to do, which is not fun. So I think that is pretty much it. If there's any other kind of I cannot talk today, it's too hot. I don't know if anyone watches this. I know I'm not popular at the moment with my 11 subscribers, but if this does pop off, if you guys have any questions about uni, feel free to comment. I will be happy to help. But yeah, even though shit can happen at uni, it can be great as well. It can, uni can be good. I like uni, and I am going back. Thank you for watching, even though I feel this vlog has been quite shit. But yeah, I just thought, you know, a lot of people might want to know how uni is. You got to think about the good stuff and the bad stuff, because, you know, if you get your hopes up to think that it's going to be 100% okay, it's not. So you just got to prepare yourself for that. But at the same time, yeah, look forward to it. Do what you want. Do the best that you can, and enjoy it as much as you can. Anyway, peace, stay safe, see you later.